Hi everybody, my name is Bree and welcome back to my channel, Bree's Arts. Alright everybody, so for today's video, I'm so excited because not only is it sponsored by Skillshare, and I will be talking about them a little bit later on in the video, but today we're going to be doing some Christmas ornaments. Now, I've done a couple in some of my previous videos, but I figured that I would dedicate an entire video to some wood ornaments using Dollar Tree, Dollarama, and just some scraps that I found laying around the house. Now, you guys know too that I am kind of going for like a woodsy, natural feel this year. I did put in a little teeny bit of red in today's DIYs too. So with all of that being said, you guys, let's jump into the first ornament DIY. All right, everybody, here we go. DIY number 1. All right, so taking some of this absolutely beautiful tissue paper that I got at the Dollar Tree for Christmas, and one of these raw wood plaques, I guess, or ornaments. I picked those up at the Dollar Tree as well quite a while ago, so hopefully you guys can find some at your Dollar Trees. They're absolutely gorgeous. And we are going to take some Mod Podge and decoupage this gorgeous tissue paper onto the wood round. So again, just putting a fairly thin coat of Mod Podge on there. With the tissue paper, you really just want to tap it down. You do not want to rub it. And then just taking my sanding block and getting rid of all of the excess around the edge there so that it's nice and clean and gorgeous. And then of course, taking a little bit more Mod Podge and sealing that tissue paper on there on the top. And I cut this decal off on my Cricut. It says Joyeux Noël. I don't know if everybody knows this, but Canada has 2 official languages. So this is Merry Christmas en français, in French. And don't be fooled, I do not speak fluent French. I only took it in high school. And now taking one of these little Christmas trees, I got them at Dollarama, these little wooden Christmas trees. In the package, they come in 2 sizes, and then just a little bit of greenery from Dollar Tree. You can see there, I'm just kind of fiddling to see how I want that tree to be placed with the greenery. And then I'm just taking a little bit of popsicle stick there just to give the Christmas tree a little bit more dimension so that it pops out and looks a little bit 3D on the ornament there. And hot gluing that into place, and then just taking my little bit of greenery there, and we will hot glue that into place as well. Just like that. This is so easy, and isn't it just so pretty and natural looking and woodsy? What a pretty little ornament. All right, everyone, and DIY number 2. Okay, so this little palette, I guess, wooden palette I got at the Dollar Tree. I've actually used these to make coasters before, but I figured I'd give it a whirl and make a little ornament out of them. So I'm just using my moss green paint by Waverly, and I painted up the entire thing, front, back, sides, and the inside. So I really had to get my paintbrush into all of those nooks and crannies on the inside as well. And then I got this little star shape out of a package from Dollar Tree a while ago, and just used some of my Waverly antique wax and painted that up. And now I'm just taking some white chalk paint, and we are just going to distress this down just a little bit. Makes it look a little bit more wintry, right? Like when you put a little bit of white over top, it's kind of, you know, snow covered looking, I guess. And here I am going to take another piece of this popsicle stick, and I'm just going to hot glue those pieces to the back again to make the star pop out a little bit, just so it's not so flat against that palette. And now I'm taking some greenery. Again, it's just off of a pick that I got at the Dollar Tree with the little white berries. They're kind of sparkly and whatnot. It's so pretty. And a few little red berries that I pulled off of another Dollar Tree pick. So here's that, and you know, another pop of red. And now I'm just taking my power drill, and I'm just drilling a couple of holes into the sides here to put our hanger on. So drill in those holes, and then I'm going to take a little bit piece of twine and put some tape around the end of it, just so that it's a lot easier to thread through those holes that I drilled there. And again, you know, tape on the end, twist it up, thread it through, out of frame. And there we go. And we'll just tie those into a couple of knots. Now, really what I should have done is just tied a knot at the end so that the end of the knot would be, you know, on the other side. This works too, you know, however you want to attach your hanger. But I thought of that, of course, after I was done filming. So just tying my hanger on there and clipping off the excess, and that's it. Isn't it so cute? Already, we're on to DIY number 3. All right, so these pieces of wood, these are just, you know, scrap tongue and groove wood that I used actually in my previous house to cover one of the walls. And I just, you know, we moved all of our scrap wood over when we bought our new house 5 years ago. So, you know, it's always good to keep your scraps, you guys. Isn't it pretty though? And I used my antique wax by Waverly and gave them, all 3 of them, a coat of that antique wax. And then I cut this stencil off on my Cricut with my 813 Oracal stencil vinyl. And I'm just going to use some white chalk paint and my dabby brush and dab, 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 fa la la, all the way across. Dab, 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 dab. Pulling off the stencil vinyl as well when the paint is still wet. It's just easier that way. And look at that. And here I am apparently going to show you the exact same thing. So putting my stencil onto the wood and dabby brush, and this one says peace. So same thing, pull it off while it's still wet weed out that vinyl. Look how cute. And you know, it's rustic and woodsy and gorgeous. I love it. And so now we're going to do, on this third ornament, we're going to do a reverse stencil. So when I weeded it out, I left the letters instead of like the, you know, opposite, right, as a stencil, and going over there with my chippy brush with some white chalk paint. Very, very rough coat. We want to keep it rustic looking. And then pulling off my letters there to reveal the stained wood underneath. Isn't that so cute? And so I showed you the Christmas trees from Dollarama in the previous DIY. There were 2 kinds of snowflakes as well as a package of angels. Aren't they so gorgeous? Now I know that Dollar Tree also, you can get little wood cutouts like this. If you don't have a Dollarama, you can absolutely use those. And so here I'm just painting up the angel and the Christmas tree with my white chalk paint. And I'm pretty sure I just leave the snowflake as is, like just with the raw wood. So painted those up, and then we are just going to adhere them to these little wood planks with some hot glue. And do that to all 3 as well. Just like that. So cute. And so here I'm going to take my power drill, drill a hole in each one of these. And then again, we are going to take our twine and we are going to, I fold the twine in half, push like the middle through, and then pull that loop through, bring the other 2 tails in through that. I threaded a raw wood bead from Amazon through each one and then tied that off on the top into a knot, cutting off the excess. And that's it. We are done. Look at how pretty. So easy and so gorgeous. And we pause this video for a word from our sponsor, Skillshare. Whoop, whoop. Skillshare is an online community where millions of creatives come together to take the next steps in their creative journey. Skillshare offers thousands of classes on a variety of topics for creative people like you and me. You can take classes on illustration, crafting, photography, anything that you can think of to expand your creative abilities. And one of the perks of Skillshare is that most of their classes are about 60 minutes or less, so there's no problem fitting them into your busy schedule. You can expand existing skills, explore new passions, and totally get lost in the creative process. The Skillshare classes are curated specifically for learning, so there are no ads, and you can totally focus on your creative journey. Skillshare is also adding premium classes all the time, so you can follow wherever your creativity takes you. All right, you guys. So one of the most recent classes that I stumbled upon is How to Stay Motivated as a Small YouTuber by Coralie Campbell. Now, you guys know that my YouTube journey started not too long ago, and I will admit that sometimes I do struggle with motivation and keeping my videos fresh and fun for you guys. After doing this class, I am certain that it will pump me up to continue to bring you guys some awesome DIY videos. Okay, you guys, the deal with Skillshare is that the first 1,000 of my viewers to click the link down in the description box will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare so that you can start exploring your creativity. So a huge shout out to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. And with all of that being said, you guys, let's get back into those ornament DIYs. All right, everybody, DIY number 4. Okay, so we are going to take some of these floral wire stems that I got at Dollarama, and we are going to take a whole bunch of beads here. So I have 3 different sizes, 5 of a larger size, 4 of a medium size, and I believe 10 of the smallest size there. And now taking some of my antique wax and a teeny tiny little bit of water, we're gonna throw those all into a container and shake them around. And look at that, you have stained beads. Just pouring them into a couple of pieces of paper towel, and just like that, we have our beads all nice and stained up. Easy peasy. And now we are just going to thread all of those beads onto the wire. So I do 5 small beads, and then I believe I do 2 medium beads. So 5 small beads, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 2 of the medium, or what do I do here? Maybe 1 large, 2 medium, 3 large, 2 medium, 1 large. Is that how it went? Sorry guys, I don't remember. Yeah, 1 large, 2 medium, 3 large, 2 medium, 1 large, and then 5 small. If that makes any sense. And what we're going to do is we're going to bend this wire into a circle because we're going to make a cute little beaded wreath ornament. So just pull that into a circle, and then all I do is just take the wire and twist it around itself a few times. Make sure that it's very, very circular, obviously. It does hold its shape very, very well. And then we're just going to take our wire cutters and snip off the excess there. Just like that. Snip. Okay, perfect. There we go. And you know, just finagling, making sure that it's holding its shape as a circle. And now I just wanted to cover up that green wire there. So you could totally paint it too, because really at the end of the day, it is going to be all covered up, but I do like to have a finished product. So I'm just taking some twine, hot gluing the end of that, wrapping it around and around and around until the wire is completely covered with the twine. Now don't pay any attention to those teeny little sleigh bells because I do not end up using them. And so I got these pine picks from the Dollar Tree, and these came in like a little package, and so they have a whole bunch of like snow on them. They are flocked, so they're very, very cute and perfect for this little wreath. And so I have 6 of those little pine branches, and we're just going to adorn the top of our wreath with this greenery here. And they were the perfect size, like the perfect size for this cute little wreath. And of course, you know, finagling around, making sure that everything is positioned, and you guys know the drill. And just gluing all of that onto the top there. And then I have a couple of like shorter little pieces there as well for the center. Okay, and just taking this little twine finger bow that I created and a piece of twine to go around the center for our hanger, we're just going to take a little bit of these berries from a berry pick from Dollar Tree, hot gluing those into those pine branches. You know, it's always just those little details that make things that much better, right, you guys? And then taking our little bow, snipping off the excess of the tails there, floofing it up a bit, hot gluing that to the center, and then we are just going to tie off the top of the hanger there. And that is it for this one, you guys. These are so easy, and I think they're so high-end looking. Like, how gorgeous. You would pay 10 bucks for that in a store, I swear to you. And you make it for hardly anything yourself. Okay, here we go. Last one, DIY number 5. Okay, so these wood planks I got at the Dollar Tree. They are 5 inches long, I guess, or 5 inches tall, whichever way you want to look at them, and then 2 inches wide. And I am just going to, for the first one, we're going to paint it up with our white chalk paint. You want to make sure that you get both sides of each one of these. And the next one, I am using my moss chalk paint. And again, we're going to do all the sides. And then for the next one, I am using Celery by Waverly. So they just complement each other so beautifully. Now, here are some of the wood shapes that you can get at the Dollar Tree. If you don't have a Dollarama, they have these cute little gingerbread men and a bell and a snowflake. I painted them up so that you could see what they would look like, but I am going to use the shapes from Dollarama. I just think that they're, you know, a little bit better quality and a little bit cuter, that's all. So I have the snowflake, the angel, and the Christmas tree, and painted them up in the angel's white, the Christmas tree is moss, and I just left the snowflake in that natural wood color, and just hot gluing those to the top of each one of these little wood planks. And now just taking some twine and some hot glue, we're just going to wrap the twine around just a few times at the bottom of each one of these ornaments, just to give them a little bit more texture. So hot glue, wrap it around, I think maybe 4 or 5 times, and then clip off the excess. And there we go. And do that to all 3. And then I cut these decals off on my Cricut as well. This one says Joy, and then there is Believe for the white ornament. And I believe I did Faith. I think it's Faith in white for the one with the angel on it. Now, I did not like that the joy was black. So I actually end up changing it. I recut my decal. You will see it in a second. Pulled off that black vinyl, put on the white vinyl, and I just like that a lot better with that green on there. And so I did drill a few holes. I didn't film it, but you guys know how to drill holes. And we're going to do the same thing, folding our twine in half, feeding it through the hole, then putting the tails through to create our hangers for these. Just like that. And then tying off the top, and we are done. That is it. And how cute are these? They're so pretty. I think that they are incredibly woodsy and high-end looking. And really, I think each one of these would probably be $1. No joke. Like, how cute. I love them so much, you guys. All right, everybody, that is it for our woodsy Christmas ornament DIYs. I hope that you guys enjoyed these, and let me know down in the comments first, like, which one of these was your favorite, and also, are you guys making any ornaments for your tree this year? I know I've seen a lot of creators doing ornaments and whatnot, so there are a lot of ideas floating around out there, so I would love to know if you do make special ornaments for your tree. Now, of course, I do have my Buy Me a Coffee link down in my description box if you want to support my channel. I would like to send a huge shout out to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. And if you like what you see, do me a solid. Tap that like button, maybe subscribe, tell your friends, you know, all of that jazz. Stay tuned for the gag reel. Bye, guys. Test, test, test. Test, test, test. Test. Test, 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 test. Okay, you guys, so today's video, I don't know, having a bad hair day. The mane. Okay. Oh, a Christmas tree, oh, Christmas tree, my ornaments on your branches look fabulous. Elongate the neck. Elongate the neck. Ring-a-ding-a-ding-dong. I think we got it. Whoop, whoop.